You know what it's like. Ball and a strike. 92 on that slider. In a 60-game season, it's been said a zillion times before, every game is that much more meaningful. Get over 500.
Come on, Jason, nail it down.
Be a half game ahead of Baltimore for the last playoff spot. It's a big one.
Now, everybody in that Blue Jays dugout feels like every game is a playoff type of game.
They haven't played many laughers either way. 2 balls and a strike. 3 sliders in a row to Diaz. G-Man Choi on deck if it continues. There for a strike. 2 and 2. 4 sliders to Diaz. Got him thinking right now.
Blow one right past him here.
Martinez at second, and the potential tying run Meadows is at first. Boy, that extra run they got on the top of the ninth feels pretty big right now.
Big time.
Romano has his sign. And a weak ground ball to the right side. Romano's got a cover.
Oh, nice. Oh, just in time.
Defense has been good all afternoon. There were several good defensive plays, and that was another one by
Wow.
Guerrero Jr. as he got over and flipped the ball to Romano, who was hustling over to the bag. And look how far Vladdy is, and he has to lead the pitcher. He does it perfectly, and
Just
Romano
got
steps on the
there.
bag just ahead of Yandy Diaz to end it.
Good
And
thing he's got
Romano's
long
busted
legs.
it. Beautiful play.
Yep.
Second save for Jordan Romano and
Nice.
the Blue Jays. A split. More importantly, they split, winning a game that started by Blake Snell.
Yep. So a 4-game split. They're over 500. Heading to Buffalo to take on the Red Sox tomorrow night. Let's send you to Blue Jays Central. Here are Jim
Perfect.
and Joe.
Boy, a critical victory. Likely the most important they've pulled off so far this early season. As Dan and Buck mentioned, puts them a game above 500. Puts them above Baltimore right now by half a game. If the Astros lose later tonight, they'd tie for 7th in the American League. So lots of things to be gained from this. We'll assess it and hear from one of the players in just a minute with Arash Madani. First, let's go back to the 7th inning. And it's fascinating how we all imagined how this 3-batter rule was going to impact games. We saw it in this one.
I was not a fan of this rule when it was adopted by Major League Baseball, but did it ever help the Blue Jays today? Kevin Cash went to his bullpen to bring in the left-hander, and it was derived by this walk that Espinal was able to lead off by working the count here, but he goes to the left-hander to face the left-handed hitting Kevin Biggio. Well, what happens with catcher's interference, Mr. Zunino behind the plate, is the second time today it's happened to him, and both times it was to Biggio. Well, guess what happens now? The lefty Luke has to face the righty Randall Grichuk, and oh, by the way, Randall Grichuk crushes left-handers. Former Blue Jay Aaron Luke, and sure enough, a 3-run homer puts the Blue Jays ahead.
Nice.
So, an interesting rule when it was adopted, but it was because of this rule that Grichuk got to face the left-hander. I'm sure Kevin Cash would have had a righty available to face Grichuk in that situation.
Back in the day, yeah.
Biggio is standing by in Tropicana Field. I can see him right now, and boy, he drove in a critical run in the 9th inning. Are we taking it over to Arash right now? Yes, we are. Let's pick up with Arash Madani.
All right, Jamie, thanks so much. Kevin, appreciate the time. What a game, what a finish, and what a series. To get out of there with a split under these circumstances means what for this team, man?
It's huge. I mean, the past week and a half or so has been huge for our club. We dropped a few ones early on that we should have won, and it's easy to sit back and look back on those and regret our mistakes during those games. But we put our heads down. We lost Boguchet, and we just continued to play hard, and we were able to just sneak these 2 wins in here against a good club that's banged up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing from my club.
From what standpoint? What are the things you're seeing that you're really a fan of?
I mean, it's one at bat after another. I feel like every other night it's someone else that's coming up clutch. Like tonight, like with Gurriel against Snell right there, he was picking him apart the first couple of bats, and an 0-2 heater, and he just stays on top of it as much as he can and hits it out to left, which is huge. And then a 3-run homer from Gritch. I mean, I think day in and day out, I think there's another guy coming in and coming up clutch, like Rowdy in that doubleheader against Philly. So that's what I'm loving what I'm seeing from position players, and our bullpen's been nailed all year. So it's been a lot of fun being around this team this year.
Yeah, Kevin, the Gritchick home run's the game-winning homer, but you talk about the critical at bat. It was probably 2 batters prior. Santiago Espinal comes up with 2 outs, takes that walk to turn the lineup over to get you up to the plate, and obviously the catcher's interference. When Randall hit the home run as he was crossing home plate, you were the one giving Espinal a bit of a pump. What were you telling him there, and just how critical was it for Santiago to show that kind of patience at the plate?
Yeah, I looked at him and told him, I said, hey man, none of this would have happened if it weren't for your at bat. And little things like that in this game, I mean, they go such a long way. I mean, a big at bat against a guy like Garcia, who has a really good slider. We went down 0-2 and he battled back with been able to get a walk. They bring the lefty up to face me, and I get a catcher's interference, crazy game, and then Gritch comes through. I mean, none of that is possible without Espinal. I mean, he's been swinging the bat really well. I mean, he lined out to left. He's been getting bunts down. He's been playing solid D to short. I mean, he is, he's just scratching the surface on what he's going to be offensively. So, I'm really happy to have a guy like that on our team.
You talk about the catcher's interference. We rarely see it, let alone twice in the same game, let alone twice with the same guy at the plate. What was going on back there?
I don't know. I mean, on the first one, I couldn't really tell you. I mean, it was a slider away with 2 strikes, and I had to slow my bat a little bit to make contact with him. I think that's where he started to reach, and that's where I got him. And that last one, when I'm facing loop, I like to see the ball a little deep and use the whole field a little bit more. And, I guess I saw it a little bit too deep and was able to hit his glove. I mean, obviously not intentional at all, but it ended up working in our favor.
Kevin, I'm looking at the patch on your left sleeve. Tony Fernandez had a 12-game hit streak against the Rays in franchise history. That was the record, tied with Edwin Encarnacion until today. You now, in 13 straight games against this Rays franchise, have recorded a hit. What is it about facing these guys in a tough building that's allowed you to have some success?
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me that last year, I probably wouldn't have believed you. I feel like these guys picked me apart last year. It is hard to see here a little bit, and that staff and that bullpen is, I personally believe when they're all healthy, it's the best staff and bullpen in baseball. And I've just been able to slow it down this year a little bit. After seeing guys like Snell and Morton and those guys a couple times, and those guys in the bullpen, you get a little bit more familiar with them, and you get a better game plan that's for yourself. So I think it's just being able to see these guys more and more. So it's been fun playing these guys.
Kevin, your Rockets are in a dogfight with OKC. I'll let you go watch the rest of the game in the clubhouse. Appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
All right.